And if you use Einstein's and Newton's theory of gravity, the sun could probably be our Earth's core that was attached to the moon. And then obviously if you create coldness and you create half the globe and you create water that hits like minus whatever in space, you're going to create an ice ball.
Do you know how many times you just said if?
If, yeah, I know.
Science can't be if this.
Yeah, no, but listen, go Google it. Go Google it, yeah. And they say an asteroid hit the Earth. They say the calamity split us into two.
They say? Who say? Is that your?
It's all over Google. It's in Google, mate. Go Google that shit. Go Google it. So we got hit by a big asteroid. Yeah, got hit by a big asteroid. Yeah. So the Earth split in two. Yeah, it's split into. So when you look at the moon, it's like the other half of the Earth. Yeah, without molten core. Yeah, so you use Newton's gravity. Our gravity and everything acts in space. That's just a clump of fucking molten lava, mate.
Yeah, theory is like theology.
Basically saying that the Earth's flat. Yeah.
Can you find me one rock that will float?
One float? Yeah, of course you would in space.
Space is fake.
Well, how is it? No, trust me, it's not. Wait, listen.
Hey guys. How are you doing today? Beautiful day in Nottingham, huh? Have you come across this info before at all?
Sorry?
So have you come across any of this information before?
She does theoretical physics.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay, so I mean this experiment here, you've probably seen or thought of or done yourself before, where you can take different liquids and then they will separate into their own sort of medium density, yeah? Same is true with gas. Well, gases will do the same. They're in a test tube, they will find their own level. And the thing about this experiment is that you could magnify it up 10 million times and you'd scientifically expect to see the same result. Yeah, it wouldn't, if I made it 1 meter, 100 meters, and I still wasn't seeing anything other than I'm just getting strata, I'm getting lines across there, and these lines are all parallel to each other. So that's why we say that if you were to come down a mountain, for example, and you come across a lake, next lake, each of those lakes are going to be parallel with one another. You can demonstrate that by taking just cups or bottles, whatever, put them on your stairs at home, and you'll find that every bottle of water, when it comes to rest, will be parallel to the next bottle of water on the stairs. That's why we build with water, make things super level. So we say that if those lakes are coming down to the rivers and eventually getting to the ocean, why isn't the ocean level? So we're taught when we're young that the ocean is not level and curves beyond our ability to measure it. So we've gone to look for the measurement of this curving ball that we're told that we live on, and we have not yet found it. We don't know. We believe that, just like I was explaining, if I made this 1,000 miles or 20,000 miles across, you get the same result. That the water is level. Obviously, the continental rocks and so on. Or when you leave the East Coast, travel up and go to the West Coast, you just sort of come up and down the same melt to get back to zero.
But you believe the Earth doesn't move?
And I know the Earth doesn't move. Well, I say the Earth doesn't move because we can't measure the Earth's movement. We can't detect any movement. And quite honestly, if we were on some kind of spinning plate, like a fairground ride, we would probably feel that. We would probably have some way of feeling that. Well, here's the thing, that it's moving at 1,000 miles an hour. You know, according to the model, we're spinning or traveling at 1,000 miles an hour, moving, and we can't detect that. Our winds don't blow associating with that. Our planes don't have to make any allowance for that. If you're spinning this way and the plane's trying to catch up with a place that it's spinning away from faster than the plane flies, then that wouldn't work. Unless the atmosphere was also being pushed along at the same time. And if the atmosphere was being pushed along at the same time, then the plane would have a headwind if it flew in the opposite direction against the spin. You see, so none of those things kind of make sense. I think we live in an electromagnetic world, and that you are the center of the wheel. You are the hub of the wheel or the spindle of the clock. And this system wants to have you on the outside of the wheel, that you're not important, rather than this universe is centered on you. When I visit with you, I'm visiting your universe. I must treat you with respect and love and so on, which is how we should each treat each other. Because we should say, wow, if God is everything, or that creation is everything, then we are that creation expressing itself intellectually. We're the only things here that do that. And so we must be carrying the higher essence of whatever God is.
I agree with that, I really do.
Let me give you a flyer before you go. Well, this stuff takes a lot of research, and it suits... You do? Okay.
I do. I study graduate.
Okay. So, well, can you tell me which of these is wrong? Because we're saying that this water is always going to be level no matter what happens to the surface. But this following the surface and becoming a rounded thing, we cannot demonstrate in any physical way. So from a physical point of view, this is what we say we experience with water. We've taken lasers and so on. And if this was true, by the way, you know, a ship would essentially have to be sailing downhill at some point, and we know that ships don't do downhill. They can only
So
go
you're
on.
telling me about your experiments? Why would I believe yours and not?
No, you don't have to believe my experiment. This is an experiment that you can do for yourself. This is the great thing about this, is that we can go and test these things for ourselves. Curvature over water, according to the maths, which is this, you know, at 10 miles, you've got 60 feet of curvature. And that's the trigonometry given to us by the globe believers. You know, I don't accept that, but this experiment, this science was done in the 1800s. Have you heard of the interferometer experiments from the 1800s? So they were the best scientists in the world. The French and the English at the time were doing for 30 years interferometer experiments. It's a very big device. The LIGO is a similar thing, an interferometer. I'll let you go in a second. But the interferometer, they said, would prove that the Earth was spinning, and they couldn't prove that. They found there was some sort of ether drift, but the ether got done away with, because Tesla said ether, Einstein said no ether, so you can have relativity. So the thing about us moving, then George Airy, who was the Queen's astronomer in the 1800s, he came up with an experiment which he used to test whether it was the stars or the Earth that was moving at night, and he found that his test showed that it was the stars that were moving, and it's now famously known as Airy's failure. You can Google this yourself. This is peer-reviewed science from that time, but we don't do that. Same as this mass attracting mass. This Henry Cavendish. Have you ever done that?
Mass attracting mass, the experiment.
No. And if you're into physics, you should surely be able to show attraction.
Thank you for the information. We're going to get some drinks.
Hey, have a good day. Guess what? Your drink will be level even if the table's not.
Let's hope so.
Yep. Hello, my man.
It's not nice to see everybody. It's not even a debate. It's what we were saying earlier. It's not a debate about the shape of the Earth. Well, you know that. You know, you've been following the tour. This gentleman's been following the tour, so...
Do you want to hear a theory of flat Earth? Not know about the calamity that hit the Earth thousands of years ago, millions of years ago. They say it split the world into two pieces. If you look at the moon, they say the moon is a part of the Earth, yeah? And if you use Einstein's and Newton's theory of gravity, the sun could probably be our Earth's core that was attached to the moon. And then obviously if you create coldness and you create the half the globe and you create water that hits like minus whatever in space, you're going to create an ice ball.
Do you know how many times you just said if?
If, yeah, I know.
Science can't be if this.
Yeah, no, but listen.
That.
Go Google. Go Google it. Yeah, and they say an asteroid hit the Earth. They say the calamity split us into two.
They say who say? Is that your?
It's all over. It's in Google, mate. Go Google that shit. Go Google it. So we got hit by a big asteroid. Yeah, got hit by a big asteroid. Yeah, so the Earth split in two. Yeah, it's split into. So when you look at the moon, it's like the other half of the Earth. Yeah, without molten core. Yeah, so you use Newton's gravity. Our gravity and everything acts in space. That's just a clump of fucking molten lava, mate.
Yeah, theory is like theology.
Yeah. Basically saying that the Earth's flat. Yeah.
So can you find me one rock that will float?
On float? Yeah, of course you would in space.
Space is fake.
Well, how is it? No, trust me, it's not. Wait, listen.
Have you been to space?
Have you
been to space?
No, you can't. Do you even know how to get to space? You have to learn. You don't even know nothing about religion, do you? You don't basic instructions before leaving Earth. Yeah, basic instructions before leaving Earth. You ain't getting out of this atmosphere.
No man has ever been in a
listen, religion. All religion talk about me, you're a muppet, mate. All religion talk about me, innit? You're a muppet. All religion talk about me, you're a muppet. Remember that, yeah?
Don't be so sore.
Religion talk about me, you're a muppet.
Your religion's under attack, son.
I'm like,
your religion's under attack.
You know that, innit? I've got abilities and all sorts. You're a muppet.
You come from monkeys. You don't come from a monkey.
All religion talk about me, you're a muppet.
He wants to rather come from monkeys than be God's creation.
So what is he saying? What is all this saying?
What's he saying?
What did you ask him?
No, I didn't ask him. He came to me and said that that you can go on Google and look at that an asteroid hit the Earth, it split in half, and that's why we got a moon. I'm like, dude, how do you prove that? How do you? They could tell you anything, So we're in a.
Reference point.
Yeah, we're in the point of saying, what can we test for ourselves, rather than let's me believe you because you said you saw
exactly.
this. You went to space. Yeah, I didn't see you go to space. Like I was just trying to tell him, we never put a man in a spacesuit in a vacuum chamber on the ground. Why would we not test it on the ground?
That makes sense.
Same with the lunar lander back in the day. They couldn't get the lunar lander to control that on the ground at all.
But see, in life here, everyone got some different opinion about different things, you see, and some people just bent on one thing, and they would not change your opinion. Even if they see facts in your face, they would not change what. It's crazy the way.
Because we're so well indoctrinated. So if I go into one town where they believe a certain religion or a certain thing, and I say, guys, there's something else here, they won't want to hear it.
This country, people in this country are very narcissistic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're controlling.
Yeah.
And they want to force their belief and you and convince you to believe. I say, everyone, we have freedom of choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this one, these people, that's close to one thing. In life, you have to be open, broad-minded. You can't go to one and say, that's it, and not change.
Yeah.
We have to change.
I have to. So I talk about electromagnetic theory because when I found flat Earth 7 years ago, it was like a doorway into other stuff.
Are you a lecturer? What are you exactly?
Electromagnetics is...
No, you personally, what's your background? You.
I was just I grew up in South Africa, did national service, went to war in Angola. I worked for the government in the UK for 15 years in Westminster. And then I wrote a book about my time there, and then I found out 9/11 was not what I...
Exactly, so therefore you have money, experience and knowledge, okay? Again, most people in this country, they don't travel, they don't go nowhere. In order to learn, you have to go to places. Like your background, you have experience, so you can go there and see different things. But some of these people just don't see one thing, and they believe that only one thing exists.
Yeah.
But there's many other things that exist, you see.
Right.
And, you know, traveling is going to travel. Because traveling, you meet people and you learn so much about different things. So what you may believe was right before, he says, you know what, I could have been wrong, you know.
Yeah.
But many people, they just bent on one thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I guess, if you only ever went to the same pub, you would never have a sense of what others were like, and what other people did in different places and so on. But I think because we're an electromagnetic torus, I say to people, we're like, each of us is an apple. Inside the big apple, each of us is a small apple. And when you take your energy center, your apple, to different parts of the torus, they call you a tourist.
Yes.
And you take your energy to another place, and you get refreshed by that, you get revitalized, you get other energy. It's like putting a little bit more spice in the curry.
What's up with guys, during lockdown, we was traveling the country and protesting. You know what I mean? While many people scared to come outside, our life went on. So despite was in the same country, what you may experience, we don't experience it because we didn't allow the system to keep us under this bondage.
Yeah.
It's like we're in prison. It's an open prison, we're in prison. Yeah. So I kind of did a bit of traveling during lockdown, and I went to Egypt, okay? And in the height of COVID season, 2020 was the height, December.
Yeah.
And Egypt is not that far away. It's across the border, 5 hours away, okay? And Egypt never have lockdown like UK did.
No?
People no. Some say to you, think what I may experience, you who've been here may have seen what I've seen. So when I went to Egypt, I'm saying something isn't right. Because no matter where we go, we're the same human being. We feel the same pain. No matter your color, all right, that person asks you, okay, you're white, he's Asian, I'm black. What color is your brain? What color is your brain? What color is your brain?
Pink.
No, what color is it? No, what color? If you're a white man, yes. But if he's a white man, he's an Asian man, right? I'm a black man. What color our brain?
Oh, look at what I've just deciphered. I just gave him his biggest key, and it's just been a muppet, me. Go spread that all over your new page. That's what you got to do. You're a mupp.
No, I'm asking you, our brain, what color is our brain? If you're white, I'm black, he's Asian. What color is our brain? Yeah, so our brain is what think, right? Okay? So forget about our skin color. Our brain all work the same.
In Africa, we talk about the blood. Our blood is the same. That's what Africans say to me all the time.
Okay, so therefore, right this, so wherever you go, people are people. We're still hungry, we still feel the same pain. So I'm saying right here, when I went to Egypt, and I say, so why aren't these people dying from COVID? Like people in the UK, something's wrong right here. Egypt has a very low hygiene system. Not like England, what everything, wash hands, this. No, these people, they eat with hands. I don't know if they build up some tolerance to what's going on, but all I'm saying right here, if COVID, I'm not saying COVID don't exist, it does exist, bro, or something out there, right? What I'm saying right is, if COVID was deadly, as the government's saying,
and it can be spread like this.
we should not be standing here because during lockdown was traveling the country, protesting, screaming in each other's face.
Of course, no one wants to hear that.
All right. Again, I watch the news to see what's going on, but not to make it brainwash me. Many people get brainwashed by television. They get brainwashed.
Tell lies to your vision.
Okay. Some saying right here, I've not heard of this, right? I've not heard of one person who been to a protest who died from COVID.
Sure.
Because if that happened, I'll be showing the media.
Sure.
Because again, during the first lockdown, I saw this nurse. She came on television crying that the shelter empty. She can't get food to eat because she's working all these hours. But I didn't see her come on television or anyone else saying people are dying, stay indoors. I just know doctors coming out warning. The person should be warning us about COVID should be doctors. Because we're putting their life at risk.
Yeah.
And they're the ones seeing what's going on. Why the government is paying famous people to advertise COVID, COVID.
Paying them, yeah.
Advertise because it's been advertised. But the real people them who should be telling us about COVID is a doctor.
Yeah.
But where are they?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're eating something, my friend, if you have some food in the plate, yeah, and they offer me some, I says, no, you eat some first. If you refuse, you know what I
Lots
mean?
of them,
Is
lots
this
of them.
all right? The other day, a friend of mine speaking to him, so that no.
Yeah.
So why would you allow a person to work in an environment where COVID patient could be coming in, and you and that person is not protecting themselves? But bro, it's brain.
So I went around South Africa last year for a year talking to the African people about the lie was, and they were saying to me, Dave, in our township we did nothing for masks or anything like that.
Yes.
We carried on playing during the
Yes.
lockdown and
Yes.
none of us are getting sick. And I said to him, here's an interesting thing. They're telling you in South Africa that the Africans are less than just telling the African, the black-skinned people there that they were more susceptible than
Yes.
the whites. Insanity. Again, it's like there's so much.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something again, yeah. All this right here to do with this, all this what you see, you can get so hot all of a sudden, right? Yes, yeah. Okay, I've been here a long time, my friend, yeah, and I don't drink, I don't smoke. I have a very strong immune system. Just last year, all of a sudden, I got what we call a fever. Many people do. They done something to the atmosphere. I'm telling you this, yeah,
Yes.
because my body reacts to anything was.
Yeah, you're
You, know,
quite
you can tell more.
tuned in, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, they done something
Yeah.
recently. On all this vaccine, yeah, it's not to save your life, okay? Because if this planet is overpopulated as they proclaim it is, why are they trying to save everyone?
They're not.
You know what I mean? If you're on a ship,
Yeah.
remember now, this is a ship. The Earth is a ship, right?
Yeah.
If you're a captain of a ship
Yeah.
and it's sinking because of overweight, you get shocked bodies or whatever overboard.
That's right, yeah.
So why would they be saving the people who trying to destroy the Earth?
It's much easier to throw dead bodies overboard. So if you give them something that makes them die, then
You understand
don't
me?
mind throwing them
Right?
overboard. But you can't throw them over while they're living.
Have you follow
That's
what it says right there? Say originally one with underlying health issues. Okay? The moment they got them, they moved down the line to everybody. You know what I mean? This is not the moment if the government forcing you to accept something. It's not like government just paying you money, forcing you. Or they're actually paying people.
In South Africa, the guys were getting KFC, the homeless
Exactly.
guys, and about about 10 pounds or 15 pounds, which for them was a lot of money. So
The sad thing about it, right here, people these days, we have a smartphone. We don't use our brain to think no more,
Yeah.
Our phone think for us, all right.
Yes.
They try, I remember.
it's called technology, not technology.
All right, okay,
Technology.
yes, all right.
I like that one.
Yes,
technology.
our period, right, yeah. I mean, Liverpool is a deprived city, okay? All right then, yeah. Why were they offering people in Liverpool £500 of it? You should 500 in Liverpool. Why do you go to Liverpool? Because they're deprived. They would take it.
Yes.
So imagine this, right, yes, yeah. £500, man, to save your life.
So I'm going to offer you something to think about in terms of getting sick last year or the year before. I think that we live in an electromagnetic egg. And inside of that egg, vibrations change during, it's called the Schumann resonance. And the vibration of the earth that it gives off changes. And I
Yes.
think they knew there was a frequency upgrade coming and it was going to knock some people down.
Yes.
And so a lot of people did get sick unusually. So we think that they were trying to attribute something natural
Yes.
to something, this rather than no, this earth is upgrading because we think we're going into Aquarius and we think that there's a change to the frequency and those bodies that are not well aligned are going to become sick. Some will have to be thrown overboard.
I
That's a theory.
say with me now, right, yes, yeah. if I'm gonna say something,
And the sun, it's to do with the sun too, because it is called corona after all. And I think if we're getting like solar flares from the sun, whatever they may be, maybe that's kind of also, I don't know, triggering this AI algorithm that they're using.
If I can say, I think that it's
flares
a
up.
loop-back system. So
It is, isn't it?
if the sun is a point of light that is the sort of center point of all the energy rising, and it creates that, then if more energy rises, then you're going to get a hotter day. You're going to get a sun flare.
One more thing I need to add before I go, right? Okay. Anyone can put stuff on the internet. Okay. I like to go there myself and do my own research. So what I did, I went to the biggest funeral director in Nottingham, because when a person died, the last person to see the body apart from family is the funeral director, and they need to know what kills you.
Yes.
Okay. So I actually went to Lim's funeral director and I asked him, "Are people dying like the government says?" He says, "No, they're not." This man telling me that even there's some board of meeting, some board of members, he got kicked off because he would not comply with your system. I have a friend of mine who also owns a funeral directors, and he says, "Clive, they're not people not dying like they're saying." So if the man who got see dead body got says to you right there, they're not dying. So we can believe them or the government.
Well, the government's own data, I went and pulled 100 years of death stats off the government's own website. 1985 had more death than 2020. There wasn't a pandemic, of course there wasn't. But I spoke to a funeral director in Durban who said that he'd had 11 needle deaths in 1 week, and 2 had died in minutes.
One more thing I must say before I go, right? If a plane should crash with 100 people on board, right? They will give survival rate or no survival rate, name of how many people on board. All right, put it this way. Why is it the news always tell you seen how many has it, but never who recovered? Never tell you.
Porn, brother.
Never tell you, because if they want to give us no hope. If I says 10% got COVID, 5 recover, that means you have some hope of recovering. They never ever tell you how many persons recovered. They tell you death rate and who has it, but not recovery rate. It's important for hope. The government do not want us to have any hope, but fear. Fear keep us safe, and fear keep us in control. And they're using fear to control us.
Absolutely.
I gotta go.
And it's just media, it's just propaganda.
My friend,
to keep us in war.
For yourself, bro. We have a brain, you need to use it, my friend. We need to think for ourselves, my friend. People stop thinking. Towards smartphone. Yes, smartphone is good, but you must know when to use a smartphone. That's fun thing for us, my friend.
Man.
We have a brain, you know.
Smartphone make us dumb.
Yes, 100%. Intelligent fools.
Yes.
Okay, later.
Cheers, brother. Go well, man. And research flat Earth.